Welcome to another edition of Outside the Huddle. Robert Giovanetti here with Texas Tech head coach Cliff Kingsbury. The Red Raiders improved to 4-2 on the season with a 66-31 homecoming win over Iowa State. Now go on the road for 2 games starting with the Kansas Jayhawks this upcoming Saturday. Coach, you think of all the great offenses that we've had here at Texas Tech, including some that you directed, an all-time record for total yards. So you've got to like what you saw. And you even said, though, in your press conference, you still probably left a little meat on the bone.
There's no doubt. It was just very encouraging to see those young guys step in and have a day like they did. In the great history of the offenses we've had here, that's an impressive number. And I like that our guys continue to play. They didn't get content even when we were up, and our second and third team guys can continue to play hard. So that bodes well.
You know, that brings up a good point that I know you talked earlier in the year about developing that killer instinct. I think we saw that on Saturday.
There's no doubt. That's what we've been working towards. When you get a chance to put a team away, you got to put them away, particularly in this conference with the great offenses. And our guys kept the pedal down and kept working.
Stop if you've heard this before, but you've talked about penalties and turnovers, and those were good numbers this weekend.
That's it. That's how those numbers go, is how our team's going to go. And we've talked about it, we've preached about it, and so far we've had one game where we haven't had them go our way, and that game wasn't very good. And so we'll continue to work at it. Second half of the season, just try and get better in both those departments.
You know, even Iowa State, a team that people don't think of as putting up big numbers, they can score some points. And just across the league, it just doesn't get any easier. And so from a defensive standpoint, is it almost, hey, we just have to have a bend, break sometimes, but don't break all the time?
I think so. I think you have to readjust your expectations when you talk statistically about your defense. In this league, guys are going to get their yards between the 20s, and you got to play great red zone defense. You got to create turnovers. And so we've done a better job this year of creating them and not having as many, and if that continues, we'll be in every game.
I don't know how much you pay attention to games around the country. There was an ACC game that finished 3-0, and it's even impossible to fathom here in this league. I mean, I think they start out here 3-0.
Yeah, they start out 14-14, I think, in this league. No, that's not going to happen in the Big 12 anytime soon.
Pat had another great weekend, and a guy that I think you can see him develop week in and week out. Is there anybody you can think back of from your days or whoever that you might compare him to be able to move and throw the ball on the run like he's able to do?
You know, I think Aaron Rodgers, he's a guy in the NFL doing it at the highest level, but he really keeps a lot of plays alive with his feet. A lot of things are off schedule, but those receivers uncover for him, and he's great at keeping his eyes down the field. And Pat has a lot of that in him. He has a sixth sense when it comes to knowing where guys are at.
4-2, halfway through the season. We still have half the season left. Are we about where you thought you guys would be at this point?
I wish we were 6-0, but having played the number 2 and number 3 team in the country, that's our 2 losses. So we have to just continue to get better this back half, and we've talked about being a second half team all year, and we need to do the same when it comes to our schedule.
I know there's nothing we can do about it. We can sit and gripe about it, but it would be nice to have a bye week somewhere here, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it usually is. More than anything, to get out on the road and try and recruit a little bit and get me out and see some high school games. But for whatever reason, didn't work out for us this year, and I'm sure the Big 12 will make up for it next year.
As you look ahead, these 2 road games before you come back on Halloween, here's a chance maybe to dictate where you guys are going to go the rest of the year?
That's exactly right. We start our second half this Saturday and have a chance to build a little momentum going into Norman, hopefully, and then anything can happen.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Good luck this week against Kansas. This has been Outside the Huddle with Coach Cliff Kingsbury. Thank you, Southwest Bank.